Previously, Chu Ting faced the Chengfeng army and fought with Huang Keishan, the head of the military supervision affairs, while trying to protect him from capturing Chengxi. Aunt Yi and Tang Xian's mom arrive. Aunt Yi rebukes Mr. John for resisting the military headquarters and keeping the wanted criminals from them. She asks Huang Keishan what Chengxi's offense is and tells him to come to arrest her personally. Huang Keishan replies that he suspects that Chengxi and his military guards are dead. Mr. John says something that pisses Huang Keishan off, and they both attempt to attack themselves. Tang Xian's mom stops them and gets injured in the process. Tang Xian's mom asks Mr. John where Chu Ting is, but he answers them in parables, enters his car, and drives off. In the car, Chu Ting coughs in pain. The mark left on him when he healed Aunt Yi still affects him, and it could detonate any time while fighting Huang Keishan. Meanwhile, Chengxi is sad that she is useless and cannot even protect her man. Chu Ting tells her that he is the one who ought to protect her. Hua, who is also in the car, hears them and is surprised, prompting her to ask if he is not Chu Ping's master. Chu Ting becomes speechless. He knows he can't hide it anymore, so he reveals himself to her, and she becomes shocked. On returning home, disguised as Mr. Jan, he meets Aunt Yi and tells her he needs her help in killing Huang Keishan. Aunt Yi is shocked and reminds him that Huang Keishan is the minister of the supervision department, and it is a rebellion just going to the military headquarters to kill him. Aunt Yi has a feeling that Mr. John is Chu Ting, but she doesn't mention it. Mr. John tells her that all she has to do is to help him the next day and asks her if the Yi family has any media outlets, to which Aunt Yi replies that the Yi family has several of them. The meeting ends and Chu Ting goes to see how Cao Wei is doing. On getting to Cao Wei, he sees her cursing at him, holding some medicine in her hands. She becomes startled when he suddenly speaks. She didn't know he was behind her. He asks her about the medicine, and she complains that she has to work overtime and stay up late so it can be ready on time. He tells her he will reduce her workload if she can beg him. He extends the deadline for completing the medicine, and she gets excited. Chu Ting teases her, and she begins to rant, but Chu Ting kisses her, and she goes silent. He tells her not to mention it to anyone and carries her to the room so she can sleep. On dropping her on her bed, she remembers kissing him while he was asleep the previous day. She starts to blush, but Chu Ting, feeling disgusted, leaves immediately. She then brings out her phone and goes through Chu Ting's pictures. She had taken several pictures of him while trying to make out that day. The next day, at the technology department, one of Huang Keishan's subordinates shows him pictures of a dragon in the lake that Chu King sent. He kills the lady because he doesn't want anyone else to know about the dragon, which he believes is full of treasures, not knowing Chu King is trying to lure him so he can kill him. Meanwhile, Yi Qingmai and Chu Ting are by the lake. Chu Ting, in this case Mr. Jan, receives a call that Huang Keishan will soon arrive. Chu King uses his magical powers to create a vortex in the lake, and both he and Yi Qingmai enter it to prevent Huang Keishan from seeing them when he arrives. After a while, Huang Keishan arrives and stands by the lake. He feels that he has found a treasure. However, Chu Ting and Yi Qingmai come out of the lake. He sees them and attempts to shoot, but Yi Qingmai kicks the gun out of his hands while Chu Ting stabs him with his sword. Huang Keishan falls into the lake dead. Mission accomplished, but suddenly, a real dragon appears out of the lake with Huang Keishan in its mouth. The dragon swallows Huang Keishan and dashes at them, attempting to attack them. They quickly evade its attack, but the dragon catches up with Yi Qingmai and almost swallows her. Chu King saves her and lures the dragon away. The dragon begins to chase after Chu Ting as he flies off. Yi Qingmai immediately calls Chengxi to tell Hua to release the news of the Yunjing dragon. She tells Chengxi that there is a real dragon, and Chengxi is shocked. The news gets released, and on seeing it, Tang Xuan's mom quickly orders her people to head to Yunjing River immediately. Meng Shui also, seeing the news, finds it interesting. Meanwhile, the dragon is still chasing after Chu Ting in the river. Chu Ting wonders why there is a real dragon. He reasons that the river is the dragon's main habitat, so he jumps out of the water and hides in the forest. He suddenly remembers that he can stop the dragon using Dragon Seal. However, he didn't learn it well when training, but he tries it anyway instead of just sitting still. As he starts to practice the Dragon Seal technique, the dragon suddenly dashes at him. He uses the Dragon Seal on the dragon and captures it. The dragon breaks loose and attempts to attack him again. He then uses the seal again and ties the dragon. He begins to think about the treasures of a dragon. The dragon's body parts are treasures, but the essential part is the innate dragon chi. The innate dragon chi is the most critical thing that makes a dragon become a real dragon, and if it is acquired, the cultivation base will advance exponentially. He considers Gong Yu and reasons that this innate dragon chi will save her. He summons stones and falls on the dragon. The dragon breaks loose again, and he uses the dragon seal the third time. He brings out his sword and slashes the dragon in the throat, causing it to release its innate dragon chi. However, Meng Zhu suddenly intercepts him and steals it. Chu King gets angry and attempts to attack her, but she resists him. He tells her to return it, and she recognizes that he is Chu Ting. Chu Ting removes his mask and negotiates with her that since she stole the dragon chi, she should release his sister, but she tells him that she got the dragon chi by her strength and without his help. Chu Ting becomes angrier and tries to attack her, but she warns him that she will kill him if he does anything nasty. She tries to unleash the power of the dragon chi she just absorbed, but shockingly discovers that the dragon chi all poured into her lower abdomen and disappeared. She immediately leaves, and Chu Ting wonders what happened. He goes back to check on the dragon, which is writhing in pain, and is now powerless due to losing its innate dragon chi. Chu Ting sees some people arrive, warning others about a dragon in the forest, and he wonders how they learned that there is a dragon. He goes to the Yi family's residence to meet Yi Qingmei, and discovers that she ordered the news release. He realizes that this was the reason Meng Zhu suddenly appeared. He then tells Yi Qingmei that since the news that the dragon killed Wan Keishan has spread and everyone is busy focusing on it, it would allow them to catch their breath. He heads home the next day to visit his parents, and they are surprised to see him. His mom calls him inside her room and asks him about his sister. She tells him to reveal everything that happened, as Chengxi already told her everything. He is surprised how his mom got Chengxi to open up, and she tells him that she called both Chengxi and Wawa. Chu Ting realizes the ladies don't want to give a wrong impression to his mom, so they told her everything. He tells her everything, and he promises to save his sister. His mother warns him that he should not hide anything like this from her in the future. Otherwise, he shouldn't come home. He then reasons that his mom should also be a martial artist, since she is from the Chu family. His mom doesn't want to talk about it, but he tells his mom that aside from being a warrior, he is also a doctor. He scans through her body and discovers that her meridians are broken. He asks her who did it to her, but she tells him not to worry about it as she did it herself. He perceives that the Chu family forced her to and promises to destroy the Chu family. He then tells his mom that he could try to cure her, but she doubts that she can be fixed as there is no cure for this kind of injury. Chu Ting goes to Yeet Pharmaceuticals to find a way to cure his mother and Gong Yu. Meanwhile, at the Xing family residence, Xing Wei and Xing Lai discuss the fake dragon scale stone they found in the forest, which Chu Ting planted to deceive people into thinking the dragon is not real. Xing Lai says she would have thought it was fake if she had not seen the dragon herself. Chu Ting cultivates for some days, steps into a new soul realm, and eliminates the poison Qiao Wei put in his body. Chengxi tells him he should go with her to pick up her sister, who has just arrived. While they wait for Chengxi's sister, Shou Wu, Gong Yu's agent, arrives at the airport. Chu Ting had invited her to join Jinmin as the new head of the military supervision department since he killed Wan Keishan. Chengxi's sister arrives, and Shou Wu leaves to attend to other things. Chengxi introduces Chu Xing as her boyfriend to her sister. Yi Wanqing, Chengxi's sister, soon starts to rebuke him, telling him not to cause trouble for the Yi family. They leave the airport, and on their way, Chengxi asks Chu Xing if he can cure her sister, and he replies casually, still pissed at what her sister said to him earlier. He later asks about the illness, and Yi Wanqing starts to talk about it. She tells him she couldn't find out what her illness is since she was 5 years old. She fainted every time and her body became weaker until she was bedridden. They sought famous doctors, but none of them could treat her, and one of the doctors said that Yi Wanqing would not survive 30 years. Yi Wanqing is now 27 with 3 years left. However, Chu Ting still replies casually. At Yi Pharmaceuticals, Chu Ting is jealous that Chengxi has been running around for her sister and has not even looked at him. Chengxi brings Qiao Wei to test her sister so she can diagnose her illness. However, after testing her at the laboratory with high-tech equipment, all results show that there was no problem with her. Yi Wanqing tells them that a doctor has helped her live for many years with the medicine she gave her. The doctor gave her 24 elixirs back then, of which she uses 1 per year, and it is expected to keep her alive for 24 years. Qiao Wei takes one of the pills and asks to test it, But Chengxi is overly concerned as she overreacts and tells Cao Wei that one pill means 1 year for her sister. Chu Ting too desires to test the medicine that is said to renew life. After a while, Chu King says he knows how the pill was made, and Chengxi tells him to make 100 so her sister can live for 100 more years. Chu Ting tells her it could only be done as the former doctor did. Chengxi starts to blame the previous doctor for not making enough. Cao Wei then asks Chu Ting to spill the method he knows to save Yi Wangking. Chengxi and Wangking are surprised that he knows a way to save her but is hiding it. Cao Wei tells them that if a medicine could be developed with Chu King's prescriptions, it would be unique in the entire city, and the prescription is just a simplified version. She further says that if it is the full version, Wangking's illness won't be a problem. Chu Ting reveals that he didn't say anything because it would take more than 3 years to refine the medicine, and since Wangking just has about 3 years left to live, he doesn't want to give her vain hope. He then takes his leave. Cao Wei thinks he doesn't want to save Wangking, but Chengxi defends him by saying she believes him and he is not the kind of person to do that. Later, Chu Ting tries to carve out a particular formation but finds it difficult. He is told that the president of Yi Pharmaceuticals wants him to come for a meeting. On getting to the meeting hall, he sees everyone already sitting, waiting for him. Others gossip about his attitude, but he doesn't care. He realizes that Wangking deliberately notified him late about the meeting. The meeting begins and Wangking, the president, talks about launching a new medicine the company had just developed. Chu Ting protests against it. Every other person agrees except Chu Ting. Chu Ting suggests that others should leave as he has some things to discuss with the president and the chief pharmacist, Cao Wei. Chengxi wonders what he is doing. Wangking adjourns the meeting and Chu Ting questions Cao Wei about the medicine she made. She did not make it according to his prescription. She angrily yells out that something was wrong with the prescription, and she had to adjust and improve on it. Chu Ting mocks her supposed improved medicine. In anger, Cao Wei takes it from him and continues to rebuke him, saying he doesn't know how to make medicines. He shows her that he knows alchemy and can refine pills and taunts her with it. She leaves the hall in annoyance. Chu King leaves too. Chengxi says she believes Chu Ting and tells her sister to talk to him. Wangking goes to meet Chu Ting and apologizes, but he doesn't accept her apology. She sees him practicing ancient martial arts, and she is shocked. Chu Ting tells her he thought she was a cultivator, and she replies that she used to practice before when she was a child, but her doctor told her to stop if she wanted to live longer. He continues to act hostile, and Wangking asks if he is afraid of ruining his plans and leaving him empty and poor. However, Chu Ting tells her there are other families in Jinmen he can always partner with, and she shouldn't feel too important. On hearing this, she gets angry. The two continue to attack each other verbally until Wangking receives a call and steps out. He hears a noise from Wangking's office and checks what's happening. It's Yi Meyer protesting for participation in the company's shares, as she is part of the family too. But Wangking tells her that it is impossible since she and her mother did not contribute and vehemently opposed when the company was being established. Chengxi also hears the commotion and tries to intervene and support her sister, but Chu King stops her. Chengxi tells Chu King she is sad he is not on good terms with her sister. Meanwhile, still in the heated argument, Wangking slaps Yi Meyer. Yi Meyer gets vexed and attempts to hit her in return, but Chengxi quickly intercepts and grabs her hand. Yi Meyer brings out a dagger and runs toward Wangking. Chu King, who initially didn't want to intervene, sees this and quickly runs to hit her. He grabs her neck and threatens to throw her off the building. Yi Meyer begs him not to kill her, and he frees her. She leaves the office with the intention of coming back later for revenge. Wangking tells Chu Ting that he finally did something that pleased her. He teases her that she is pleasing to the eye, and Chengxi yells at him. Chu Ting leaves the office to attend to other things. After he leaves, Wangking tells Chengxi that Chu Ting is very violent, and Chengxi replies that she can't beat him. Yi Meyer goes back to her mother, asking her to avenge her, and her mother promises to. Chengxi runs to meet Chu Ting with the news that Mayor Qing Lai covered the truth about the real dragon. Meanwhile, Lai Nian is in her office, angry. She receives strange visitors. At Yi Pharmaceuticals, Chu Ting writes the prescription for some medicine, and Wangking grants it immediately, so the company's money goes into production. Chu Ting admires her decisiveness and affirms that she deserves the position of president. He suddenly receives a call from Jia Yu and goes to visit him. Jia Yu asks if the rumor about the dragon is real, and Chu Ting quickly covers his mouth, preventing him from talking about it. Chu Ting tells Jia Yu about the new pill that will be released into the market by Yi Pharmaceuticals. He says it would become famous quickly and surpass the Lai and Tang families. He then tells him to help him spread the news. He heads back to the Yi family's residence and meets Cao Wei, who tells him the new pill will be available the next day or in 2 days. After she leaves, Chengxi and her sister come to report that Yi Qingmei is in danger as she was tricked into a trap and was captured along with the new pill by the Lai family. She tells him that the Lai family is full of martial masters, and they want to destroy the Yi family. Chu Ting asks for her location, and Chengxi tells him to follow her as he will take the lead. He tells her that he will go alone, but Chengxi refuses and says she wants to go too. Chu Ting knocks her out and leaves her in Wang Qing's care. He gets the address from her and quickly heads there. On his way, he reasons that saving Yi Qingmei and the pills will be difficult if he goes alone, so he calls Meng Zui for help. He promises to do whatever she wants to get her to help him. She then asks for his sword and mask, and he promises to give them to her. She stands up and prepares to go help him, but remembers her belly and says she can't go. Chu Ting is pissed that he has to beg her before she can help, even though he has always treated her so well. He reasons that he has to find Xiao Wu if things continue this way. He gets to Yunshan Mountain and intercepts the fight between the Lai family and Yi Qingmei, disguising himself as Mr. Jian. Lai Gan tells Mr. Jian to help him kill Qingmei and offers to give him all that the Yi family promised him, and if he doesn't want to, he should just stay out of the fight, and she will give him a huge amount of money. He refuses and says he cannot let go since they attacked his disciple. The Lai family soon launches an attack, and Chu Ting counterattacks with his sword using the Thousand Flower single slash technique. However, the move is just for show and can't deal much physical damage. He uses it to buy time until Xiao Wu arrives to help them. He suddenly sees an older man named Wu Dunren, the master of the Suanshan Hall. He perceives he is a real cultivator with a high cultivation level. This feels like he is meeting an acquaintance in a land of strangers. One of the Lai family members, Zhang Sudong, attempts to attack Qingmei from behind, but Chu King saves her and takes the hit instead. The guy discovers Wang Keishan's mark is on him and realizes he killed him. The Lai family attacks Chu Ting and Zhang Sudong attacks Qingmei, leaving a poison mark on her body just as she had much earlier before Chu King healed her. Chu Ting reasons that he can't escape with the Yi family and wonders why Xiao Wu has not yet come. He absorbs the poison from Qingmei's body and gets weaker. Lai Yan attempts to use this opportunity to attack, but Wu Dunren stops her. He tells Chu Ting that the Suanshan Hall needs a sorcerer and asks if he will be willing to take the position. A few moments later, after the Lai family has agreed to kill Qingmei and leave Chu Ting, Dunren tells Chu Ting that he will only lock his veins. Chu Ting refuses to allow him, and they soon begin to combat. Chu Ting, realizing that he can't defeat the old man as he is disadvantaged, and Qingmei is in danger, thinks of how they can escape. Suddenly, Xiao Wu arrives with a gun. They are all surprised to see her except for Chu King, who called for her of course. Lai Dian is surprised she came to save the Yi family, and tells her the supervision department is not to interfere in the war between families. Lai Dian attempts to attack Qingmei, but Xiao Wu points the gun at her. Wang Keishan's master tells Lai Dian that she should not worry too much as Qingmei has already been poisoned and will definitely die. She replies that he said the same thing the last time too, but she is still alive. Fearing Xiao Wu, the Lai family leaves. Xiao Wu tells Chu Ting that he owes him a favor and leaves. Yumira and her mother arrive and pretend to care about Qingmei. Meanwhile, Yumire's mother is angry that Lai Yan could not kill her sister even with the opportunity she gave her. She brings out a poisoned needle and attempts to kill her by herself instead. Qingmei suddenly says that there is an imposter among them. This makes Yumai stop what she is about to do and quickly hide the needle. Yumai responds by saying she will find out who the imposter is and make them pay for it. Chu Ting catches her off guard by replying that she should go ahead to kill herself then. She continues to pretend, and Chu Ting attempts to attack her. But Qingmei stops him and instructs Yumai on what to do when she returns home. After she leaves, Chu Ting asks why she stopped him even though she knows she is the imposter, and she replies that it is not yet time for her to pay for what she has done. Chengxi and Wang Qing arrive and are glad to see their mother still fine. Chengxi is mad and refuses to talk to Chu Ting. On returning to Yi Pharmaceuticals, Chu Ting and Qingmei step aside to discuss. Chu Ting finds out that the poison running in Qingmei has been triggered and he can't cure it. He tells her she just has at most 1 month left to live. She asks him how many days it would take for the poison to erode her inner strength, and he tells her she has just 3 days. She entrusts Chengxi into his care and tells him to watch after Wanking too, even though she has caused him a lot of trouble. She reveals that she became insecure when she found out that their father was a spy from the Li family who was instrumental in getting King Mai poisoned while she was pregnant with her, which caused her to be born with an incurable sickness. He got depressed and later killed himself. King Mai further tells him that the hatred between the La and Ni families cannot be resolved, so he should not be deceived if the Li family ever talks about making peace in the future. This prompts Chu Xing to ask why she didn't kill Yi Mai when she betrayed the Yi family. King Mai tells him that Yi Mai was the original heir of the family, but when her mother died, she was appointed the next heir instead, and Yi Mai has held a grudge against her since then. Chu Ting is surprised. Cao Wei comes out of the operating room and reports that Qing Shu, who got injured during the Li family's attack, will remain unconscious for some days, but her life is no more in danger. Wanking tells Cao Wei to take a look at her mom, and after a test, she discovers that something is wrong with her. But as she tries to talk, Chu King stops her and tells her to keep King Mai's condition a secret. Wanking notices both of them and asks what the problem is, but Cao Wei tells her that King Mai is in perfect condition. King Mai leaves to attend to other things, and Wanking takes Chengxi to a separate room. Meanwhile, Cao Wei asks what Chu Ting is up to, wondering if he plans to steal the Yi family's properties since King Mai won't live up to a month. Wanking asks Chengxi if she noticed anything weird about Chu King and her mom, but Chengxi doesn't see a problem with it. Chengxi heads back to her office, and on her way, she sees Chu Ting but just walks past him. Chu Ting grabs her hand, but she still acts angry. He apologizes for knocking her out, and he kisses her when she refuses to accept. She tells him never to leave her out of anything again, even if it is dangerous. He tells her he can't do that, and she is angry with him. As she leaves, Chu Ting tells her to go home and accompany her mom if she is free. She then remembers what Wanking told her and considers what Chu Ting just said. She wonders if something is really wrong with her mom. She becomes determined to find out. Chu Ting reasons that he can only hide their mom's illness for a short time and hopes that they forgive him when they eventually find out. He checks the poison mark on his body and reasons that his life could also be in danger if triggered, so he seeks to get rid of Zhang Xudong. Chengxi goes to meet her mom and asks if she can help with anything, but her mom tells her to visit the victims' homes from last night's incident on her behalf. After a while, King Mai calls Chu Ting to her office and tells him she is giving her one of the Yi family's mansions as compensation for his contribution to the family. She tells him to pick up his family as the Yi family is no longer safe. Chu Ting asks if she is going to the Li family and says he will accompany her. She refuses, but Chu Ting insists, saying he could at least retrieve her body if she dies. What a ridiculous thing to say. She tells him she will be going the next day, and Chu Ting tells her he will go find some aid. He tells her to wait for him to return, but as he leaves, he feels she will leave without saying goodbye. Chu King heads to the Ji Jin bar to meet Meng Zui. He enters the bar and sees his sister. He runs to meet her and asks how she is. Meng Zui appears and tries to cause strife between them, accusing Chu Ting of not coming to save his sister, but Chu Xiao does not fall for it. Meng Zui tells them to sit and talk. She serves herself and him a drink, but Chu Ting refuses to drink, being skeptical it could be poisoned. Meng Zui drinks from her glass and gives it to him instead. He finishes the drink and asks her about her conditions for releasing his sister. She tells him to be her slave, but he refuses and asks her to change her conditions. Meng Zui calls Chu Xiao to make some drinks for them, and while Chu Ting is still skeptical about the drink, his sisters tell him it is not poisonous. He takes the drink and discovers it was actually poisoned. Chu Xiao is confused and takes the drink, but she isn't affected. Meng Zui tells her that the poison only works on cultivators, of which only Chu Ting is among the 3 of them. She orders her men to throw Chu Xiao out of the bar as she has already gotten the person she needs. Knowing that she can't save her brother alone, Chu Xiao decides to go call for help. Chu Ting wakes up tied to a chair. He finds it difficult to use his cultivation powers, and Meng Zui tells him that he can't escape as the chair was specially made for him. She tells him all he has is now hers and draws closer to threaten him with a knife. Chu Ting activates his powers, then a beam of light comes out of his mouth and hits one of Meng Zui's eyes. He tells her to look into his eyes, and she sees one of his eyes glowing. Her eye starts to glow too, and she asks him what it is. He tells her it's the life-binding spell. Once someone is cursed with this spell, the spellcaster and the victim's lives will be bound together, and when one dies, the other will die along with them. Chu Ting's bind gets loose, and Meng Zui attempts to stab him. Chu Ting grabs her hand and asks why she hates him so much, even to want to sacrifice her life in a bid to kill him. She frees her hand from his grip and attempts to attack him again, but she slips and falls. Chu Ting asks what is wrong and says she hasn't progressed, even though she swallowed the innate dragon chi. She gets pissed. She tells him she has released his sister and says he should leave too. He tries to settle things with her, but she disagrees with him. He then tells her he needs her help with visiting the Lid family the next day. She refuses, but he tells her she won't be alive if he dies. He also tells her King Mai is dying, so she plans to visit the Lai family. He says Meng Zui will know why King Mai wants to go there, but he doesn't know, which is why he came to find her. He offers to give half of his new mansion if she helps him, otherwise she will die too if he dies, and he leaves. Meng Zui is angry as she now has no choice but to help him. Meanwhile returns with Xingwei and some other women from the Xing family to come and rescue his brother. But Chu Ting misses them, and as he heads out, one of the women from the Xing family is shocked to see him. She tells him that his sisters spent the whole night begging the mayor Xing Lai to help her brother before she finally decided to help. Xingwei and Chu Xiao, now with Meng Zui, ask her where Chu Ting is, and she refuses to answer. Xingwei gets angry, and they begin to fight. Chu Ting goes there and meets the two fighting themselves. He thanks his sister for helping him. Meng Zui defeats Xingwei, and when Xingwei sees that Chu Ting is fine, she gets angry and attempts to attack Chu Xiao for tricking the Xing family. Chu Ting stops her and punches her hard, throwing her off. She asks him what he is doing as he is the reason she came. Chu Ting tells her he knows she reluctantly came to rescue him because Xing Lai ordered, not because she was willing, and tells her to go back. She leaves in anger. Chu Ting takes her already exhausted sister and prepares to leave too, but Meng Zui tells him to wait and says she will help him as he requested, but on the condition that he will remove the life-binding spell. However, Chu Ting tells her he doesn't know how to remove the spell and is also anxious that he has put his life in her hands. He asks her to change her condition. She tells him she has a doctor who can check her sister, and while Chu Xiao is being checked, Chu Ting asks if she has come up with a new condition and tells him that he should marry her. He is shocked and thinks she is crazy, but she tells him he has to agree to marry her if he wants her help. He agrees but tells her that his name will be in the first position. She first rejects but finally agrees, and they head to the court immediately to get married. Chu King is surprised that he has really gotten married. After that, Chu King says they should head back to the Yi family, and they will visit his parents together later to move to the new mansion King Mei gave her. Meng Zi tells him that since the Yi family is now unsafe and the Xing family is along the same street as his new mansion, he should bring his family to her place instead. Chu Ting wonders if she is up to anything bad, and she tells him that she can't do anything bad since they are now married. She requests to see his sword, and he shows it to her. They head to the Yi family, and Meng Zui tells him he is not allowed to flirt with any other women since they are now married, and says if he does, she will flirt with other men too, as many women as he also flirts with. Getting to the Yi family's residence, Chu Ting alights from the car, and as he leaves, Meng Zui tells him that she is pregnant. Chu Ting is shocked and asks if he is the father, and she tells him that she has slept with too many men to know who the father is but decided to choose him as the father. Chu Ting asks her what if he tells her to abort it, and she tells him she won't. She drives off, and Chu Ting is pissed by how she keeps playing him around. Chengxi comes to meet him. She tells him that her mom went somewhere and feels bad about it. Chu Ting tells her not to worry and tricks her into getting something for him at the company while he heads to the Lai family's residence. He sees Lai Huanzhe entering her car at the Lai family mansion and thinks she should know King Wei's whereabouts. The car leaves and he follows her. After a while, Lin Huanzhe discovers she is being followed and speeds up. Chu King speeds up too and hits her car from behind, causing the car to somersault and crash into a nearby bush. She comes out of the vehicle, and Chu Ting grabs her neck. She tells him that if he kills her, someone will also be sent to kill Chengxi. Chu Ting notices a resemblance between her and Chengxi and wonders if they are sisters, since Chengxi's father was a spy from the Lai family. He asks if she has met King Mai, and she replies that she doesn't know what King Mai is up to but only knows that King Mai sent Lai Dian a letter, and Lai Dian immediately left for Fuan. He leaves her and prepares to take his leave. Lai Huanzhe brings out a gun and shoots at him, but he uses his power to block the bullet, and it bounces back to hit her. However, she blocks it too. Chu Ting returns to his car and heads for Fuan. Suspecting that Lai Dian will not be alone, He calls Qiao Wei to help her give Qiao Wu something. He misses Meng Zui and leaves her a message that he has gone to Fuhan. At Fuhan, he hides in the forest, waiting to see if King Mai has been exposed. Suddenly, his phone rings. Someone shoots in his direction immediately, but he manages to dodge it. He reasons that the Lai family must have thought it was King Mai. Zhang Xudong runs toward the direction he heard the sound, thinking it is King Mai. However, King Mai attacks him unexpectedly and goes back into hiding. Zhang Xudong meets the other Lai family members and tells them that King Mai has someone helping her. Lai Yan tells them never to shoot until they confirm it is King Mai. Chu Ting decides to help King Mai again, but nobody shoots. King Mai decides to use herself as the bait and runs out of hiding. One of the Lai family members sees her, but Chu Ting kills her before she could do anything. Chu Ting is disappointed it wasn't Zhang Xudong. Suddenly, Wu Dunren launches an attack from behind, but Chu Ting dodges it. Wu Dunren tells him to let him live this time, unlike the last time, and just as he prepares to attack him, Xiao Wu arrives. Chu Ting attempts to go help King Mai but gets blocked by Zhang Xudong, who gets in with his poisonous qi, causing Chu Ting to become weak. He prepares to attack Chu Ting again, but Meng Zui shoots at him with her powerful gun. Wu Dunren leaves, saying he cannot interfere in the matter anymore. Meng Zui continues to shoot at them, and the Lai family calls a retreat. Not satisfied that she hasn't killed King Mai, Lai Yan dashes toward her, but her subordinate tells her to escape instead while she fights with King Mai. However, King Mai deals damage to her immediately and pursues after Lai Yan. She asks if she still remembers Lai Yuanbai, and Lai Yan stops immediately to confront her. Lai Yan tells her she is not worthy of mentioning the name. They soon begin to fight. Chu Ting watches them while they fight, and one of the Lai family members suddenly hits him from behind, causing him to fall to the ground. She tries to attack him, but Xiao Wu shoots her and she flees. Lai Yan and King Mai continue fighting. They bring out a knife and dash at each other. King Mai slices Lai Yan's throat while Lai Yan stabs her in the chest. Chu Ting quickly runs to meet King Mai. Before dying, King Mai gives him the two knives and tells him to throw them away into the Yun River. Chu Ting reasons that the knives are the only thing related to Chengxi's dad and also the clue to the deep hatred between the Lai and Yi families. He considers keeping them, but decides to throw them away as he was instructed. Menzu comes running to Chu Ting, asking him to save her from the dragon chasing her because of its innate dragon chi with her. Chu Ting immediately uses the dragon seal to bind the dragon. Xiao Wu is surprised to see the dragon and comes closer to it. The dragon attempts to attack her, but she points her gun at it in self-defense and shoots the dragon just before Chu Ting could stop her. The shot breaks the dragon seal, and it attempts to attack her again. Chu Ting tries to use the dragon seal again but can't, as he is now very weak and cannot use his power. However, the dragon becomes terrified and runs away. It heads where King Mai's body is, and just before they could stop it from taking her body, the dragon takes it and enters the river. Xiao Wu is shocked that there is a real dragon as opposed to what Xinglai said. Meng Zui points her gun at her, and she swears not to reveal the information to the public. Chu Ting explains that he doesn't want Jinmin to have another chaos because of the dragon, so he hid the information. He gives her two choices, to either wait until the perfect time to spread the news or he should take her to capture the dragon when he has time, and she will become the owner. She picks the second option and asks him when the perfect time is. He replies that it is the day the Lai family gets destroyed. How does Chu Ting plan to eliminate the Lai family? Will he get revenge for the Yi family? Let us know if you want the next part in the comments section by commenting reverse. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. See you guys in the next video.